Hey guys, so by now you know that there are a lot of deadly tornadoes that are happened on Friday, over the weekend, and also calling for more as of today. So if you have not prepared, and that means preparing your mindset, coming up with a plan, a strategy of where you're going to go in the event that you start hearing sirens, if they have sirens in your area, or if you get that notification over your phone or on your weather radio. And do you even have a weather radio? How prepared are you before the storm come? And I know it'll be some cynical people in the comments that are going to say, well, if the storm hits, if the tornado hits my house, I ain't gonna have no stockpile. I'm not gonna have this or that. But what if it doesn't hit your home? Then you're left without power, you're left without food, you're left without water, you're left without access to a lot of major things that will affect your life, okay? The quality of life. It's not about whether or not you can just survive it, but can you thrive after such a storm has hit? 'Tis the season, so it is springtime. I'm doing spring cleaning. Matter of fact, I found this hair in the closet. So I'm doing some spring cleaning here. But on a serious tip, a lot of people have lost their lives with these storms that took place on Friday. I'm going to show you a video of that. I'm also going to get into this news story right here. It says from Texas and Oklahoma to Illinois, Indiana, and southern Michigan to Tuesday's storm zone is expected to bring tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, and flash flooding. Forecasters say the worst of Tuesday's severe weather will fire up from the southern plains into the southern Great Lakes. The Storm Prediction Center has placed parts of the northern and central Illinois into northwest Indiana under a moderate risk, is second highest category. An enhanced risk also covers parts of the west and central Texas into southwest Oklahoma, along with a broader corridor from the Midwest into the southern Great Lakes. So with that, these following states are pretty much in the line of the storm on Tuesday: Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. The main threats are not minor ones. NOAA says all severe hazards are possible, including multiple strong to intense tornadoes, damaging winds, and very large hail. In Texas, forecasters warn hail could reach 2 to 3 inches or more, with central Texas facing a tornado threat as storms grow and organize later in the day. Across Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, storms developing this evening and overnight could also spin up tornadoes and dump large hail before turning into damaging wind-producing lines. Flooding is another problem building underneath the tornado threat. The Weather Prediction Center has a slight risk of excessive rainfall over parts of southern plains and southern Great Lakes, with several inches of rain and scattered flash flooding possible. And I know now when Hurricane Helene came through here in North Carolina, they call for all pretty much those same things, flash flooding, etc. I did not realize that it was going to be that bad. I had not been in a storm like that here. And I've been in Matthew, but that was in South Carolina. And I was living in a mobile home at the time. So living here in the mountains, when they said that was going to happen, I really did not think that it would be as bad where I was, because they did not say it was going to be as bad here in the mountains. They were suggesting that the worst of the storm was going to be on the east part of North Carolina. Okay. So when we got hit here in the western part of North Carolina, we were all taken by surprise. A lot of people lost their lives, definitely lost their homes, still don't have their homes, some of them being forced out of FEMA homes right now because there's only a short period of time you can stay in there. So if you're thinking, well, if something happened, the government will come in and help. If they do come in and help, it's still limited assistance that you're going to receive. You may not get that FEMA check, or if you get it, it may not be enough to even support you and your family. And when that happened, we had issues with power failure. We had issues with people not accepting, your cards. They only accepted cash. Even people who said, we don't take cash, they were willing to take cash then. So definitely having small bills somewhere in a Ziploc bag or some kind of bag where it's waterproof would definitely be beneficial to you. Having food that's in containers that if your basement floods, like my basement did flood and some water did get into my food pantry, luckily it was not enough where it would reach over the food or up to the food, because of how my husband built it. He has it up at least a good 2 feet from the floor or whatever. So yeah, but it could have been way, way worse. So when you get these warnings, note, even if they say it's not in your area, just be aware that anything could shift in a storm and it could send it your way, because that's what happened to us. So the Weather Prediction Center has a slight risk of excessive rainfall over parts of the southern plains and southern Great Lakes, with several inches of rain and scattered flash flooding possible. That flood concern stretches across parts of Texas and into northern Illinois, northern Indiana, southern Michigan, and northwest Ohio. By Wednesday, the danger shifts east. The official outlook shows a slight risk of severe thunderstorm. And those thunderstorms are the lower Mississippi Valley into the upper Ohio Valley and the mid-Atlantic. That means part of eastern Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi could be hit again as the next round pushes through. So be aware of that. Farther north and east, Ohio, West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, and also in line for damaging winds and possible tornadoes. The mid-Atlantic is included in the broader Wednesday threat as the cold front keeps moving east through the day. Forecasters say severe storms are expected to be more scattered on Wednesday than on Tuesday, but the setup still supports organized storm clusters and some supercells. The latest outbreak is landing on top of damage that is still being counted from last week's storm. So let's check out footage of that. And definitely, if you're not prepared, start preparing now, making sure you have emergency phone numbers available for you, that your family knows the plan that you have come up with, and that they are comfortable with that plan. Include them in the plan, because they may have ideas that you didn't even think of, right? And having medical supplies on hand also in case you can't get out to medical facilities in case you need to. Have enough water, have enough backup power, whether it's you only have candles, then use candles. If you have flashlights, use flashlights. If you have stake lights in your yard, leave them out there, bring them in. That way you have candles, something to light your way throughout your house. Say you got to use the bathroom, whatever. You don't want your kids to have candles. You can give them those and they'll have light. Maybe that will be less scary for them. Having games and puzzles for your children if you have children, or just for yourself, because ain't gonna be nothing for you to do. If you don't have a tarp, I try to keep one laying around. So if you don't have a tarp, get a tarp. They have cheap ones in the dollar store. You can get a more sturdier one, from a different store. But just having a tarp in case you have to tarp something up. Say part of your roof, you still have your house, but a part of your roof gets blown off or whatever. You can cover that hole. Or a window gets broken, you can cover that. Having extra trash bags, because you might need that in case the the sewers are not working, and then you have to, use the bathroom other ways. So you need to have those items available for use. I encourage any of you to leave your tips and ideas in the comment section for those people that it might help them. It might help me, because I can't think of everything when I'm just going off the rip. I didn't write anything down. I didn't plan this video. So I'm sure I'm leaving something out. And if I did, feel free to put it in the comments. You will not hurt my feelings, because this is about us helping each other, right? So let's get into these clips of what this storm actually did on Friday and what is possibly happening now.
Awful look there. That's a look at Friday's deadly tornado outbreak that ripped through Michigan. We continue to follow the recovery journey for those communities days after the destruction. But this event, it changed the lives of many. It changed those communities forever. Residents lost their homes and belongings in the devastation. Some lost loved ones, neighbors. And now, just days later, some of those same hardest hit areas are under the threat for severe weather once again as this dangerous evening takes shape. One of those residents joins us now. Tiffany Little survived the EF2 tornado in Three Rivers, Michigan, by sheltering in her basement with her family, exactly like you do, doing all the right things when the severe weather alert was issued. Tiffany, your story is an incredible one, a scary one. Thank you for being here with us. What was this like as you found out that there was a tornado headed for your home?
Absolutely terrifying. My daughter was looking out our bay window and said, Mom, there's a roof coming towards our house. So we were immediately running to the basement and got locked into the bunker and was safe. We were down there for about 2-3 minutes and silence. And then we came upstairs and our house was completely ripped open. A couple of buildings on our property got completely destroyed. The beautiful graveyard behind us just completely uplifted.
Wow. You had described your house as gone, but your family made it through this. What was that like when you all emerged out of the basement to see your home, your community in ruins?
We're completely devastated.
That are going to be coming in later this afternoon. So he's driving right to the heart of where it's going to be the worst, moderate-wise. And we're talking outside of Chicago. Right now, he's in Hammond, Indiana. We'll talk to him a little bit later on this afternoon for sure. But it does look overcast at this point. But we know the dynamics in the upper levels of the atmosphere are starting to come together. And we're also starting to see the dew points creep on up. Now, that frontal boundary has drifted south of Chicago. So your temperatures, you don't need me to tell you, it took a big tumble from the 60s to the 40s, and the dew points fell as well. That's that cold air locked in over the Great Lakes. But if you're south of that boundary, it looks like it's going to be rough. All right, we got 4 out of 5 on the bad scale for severe weather, and it's going to be up to the north because of that low pressure region, the upper levels of the atmosphere that's zooming in towards the area. So, yeah, we've got that isobar right there. You can see the tightness of that with going up, and there it is. South of Chicago, that pink shaded area, that is the 4 out of 5 on the bad scale, and that includes Peoria and close to Fort Wayne, north of Lafayette. And the unfortunate thing is it's driven by the fact that we're going to see large tornadoes and probably more of them. So that's going to be the big issue right here.
Going on, you're saying severe weather in Chicago, it's 43 degrees. Yeah, you got a breeze out of the northeast, 8 miles per hour. That northeast breeze is pushing down some of that air off of Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan's 39 degrees. It's only 10 days into March, and that's playing a very important part in where the worst of the tornadic potential sets up. You'll see that coming up in just a moment. But this whole sprawling zone, Texas through the Midwest, everybody included in that. It's 84 million Americans.
Here's to the good days, here's to the sorrows. If this is a mistake, I know about tomorrow. I don't wanna fight no more, cause I don't feel the need no more, no. Just wanna make it stop. Maybe it's something in the water.